Best of 5 into the bottom right. Starting us off is the Blue Zerg player who we just saw winning his semi-final 2-0. It is Lambo. He's going up against the Red Zerg to the top left-hand side, Nerchio. Let's see which of these will come out as the Go4 monthly champion. Nerchio, one of the most successful Go4SC2 players of all time, winning multiple Go4SC2 monthly finals over his years. And let's see if he can put another under his belt today, as Lambo really has been a real kind of grower in the online tournament scene, has been winning a lot more over the past year or so. Really has been reached that stage of just being another top-tier Zerg out of Europe. So who will be the better of the two today? Well, that's of course what we are here to find out, and we are looking towards that in the next few moments to see just which player will take the advantage. We'll move up and take the lead in the series. We're just going to be seeing Hatch Gas Pool to get us started though, so it's nice, it's calm, it's really nothing too crazy. To begin, we're not going to see those 12 pools coming out yet, but in a best of 5 ZvZ, I'd be very surprised if the entire series was made up of Hatch Gas Pool after Hatch Gas Pool. I think we're in for a little bit of a treat here in terms of getting to see some different build orders, some different kind of ways of playing out this matchup. So let's keep our eyes open, let's see how it goes, let's see what's going to happen. As we get set up into this, we're going to be again off and away, truly, in just a few moments. The first game will be a slow one on Acid Plant. Our full map order was given to us. Now, if I work some magic, I could do this and see that we have Catalyst, followed by Eastwatch, followed by Blackpink, followed by Backwater. So it really is a big kind of variety of maps here. Coming on up is already Lambo. Going to be the player to not take a third hatchery. Sorry, I was getting confused with him being red in the last game. Nerchio going to be the first player to expand here on Acid Plant. So he's going to take the expansion. When I say to expand, I mean beyond the natural, of course, and then towards the third hatchery instead. So setting that up. And getting ready to go as link speed again coming up on either side. A few drones coming through as well. And we get ready to see what the follow-up is from both, as Lambo just has a couple links moving forwards to maybe try and see if you can just get a bit of an advantage off and away already. Lambo already setting up in towards that here, and I was going to see a couple of those links going to come around the right. We still have link speed on the way from both. Nerchio, fairly passive, didn't even make any lings just yet. We'll go straight into the baneling nest though, and so we'll have that up for safety in the relatively near future. So he's getting that established already, and that's going to be seeing the Bane Nest continue to come on up. So, meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Lambo is also dropping down a Bane Nest, so he's also getting that ready to rock and roll. I was just going to see a couple lings still chasing each other around. Obviously, early game. This is a very common occurrence, and even some more lings coming up from Nerchio now to apply a bit more pressure onto the expansion, which has just now been taken by Lambo off to his right-hand side of the natural. So, there's a few lings coming up here. Lambo is making a few lings too. I mean, it gets into this kind of very common occurrence where it is just the kind of the ling bane phase of the game where you make a few lings to defend your own hatchery while being aggressive on your opponents, and it just makes sure you kind of, you're not going to be caught off with no units at all, and you can drone up a bit here and a bit there behind it, which we're starting to see now. An Evo Chamber as well from Nerchio, who's already maybe looking to tech up in towards something like a melee upgrade. Something he already did once today was to go for a fairly fast melee upgrade, so it could be interesting to see that all over again. I guess we'll see if that is something which comes up, as we're going to see a couple of blings going to jump onto this baneling. And that first bane already taking a little bit of damage. I'm just going to see more Zerglings coming in to help shut this down. The Queen able to pick up a kill as well. And a few more Zerglings just sat over to the right-hand side. The Evo Chamber continuing to come on up as well on the natural. So still getting that ready to go. So we are going to see these things coming all the way back up to the top. And we'll be able to just loop back around the other side again in the near future. More lings and banes coming up the right as is Lambo to try and get aggressive once again, trying to attack on through once more. A few more Zerglings on the way up, and just going to be seeing a couple of banes still under some fire here, as we're going to be seeing the 2 banes for 2 banes, 2 for 1 in the end. I mean, Nerchio's banes were already low, right, as he will jump onto this bane, and he denies it pretty effectively. Nicely done, as we're going to see 2 more banes arriving though, and those are good connections. Does it give Lambo enough to pick off this Queen? I mean, a lot of those lings are very low, right, so they go down so quickly. Nerchio is still able to defend in the end. A nice moment or two for Lambo, but at the end of the day, nothing is really gained by either player, and neither of them really go into a crazy kind of a great position or anything like that. pretty normal for now from both. As you see the Rotron about to finish up from Lambo, +1 missiles coming in on each side of the map as we just continue to set up into this. A few more links here actually picking off a drone. A couple of drones have been picked off there in total. I'm still seeing those Zerglings pushed away over to the right. So they're still off over to this right side here to see what they can perhaps achieve in the near future. See if they can run back in like this. A couple of drones go down and now a Baneling arrives as well, just to try and help with this. Kind of the last little bit of Ling Bane we're going to see before we get that transition out in towards the Roaches here in the near future. Both players playing a lair and a +1 upgrade, although Lambo is a little bit behind on those upgrades on the structure. You know, he doesn't have the lair as fast, doesn't have the +1 as fast. Both of them delayed by about a similar amount of time, just because he's probably been a bit more of an aggressor, but also I guess Nerchio's kind of down on workers, so Nerchio building up a few Roaches and a Ravager or two now. Is he actually going to attack in with this? It looks as though he might. He's streaming some units across, although droning behind it. Let's see what he can do with this initial +1 timing. It's a timing where Lambo himself will not have +1 to work with. As you're going to see, well, the first Corrosive Bow comes down. I mean, the first Ravager gets surrounded by drones, which is never a great thing, as we're going to be seeing already. Some of these drones do kind of continue to go down, though, because he doesn't have enough Roaches to actually just straight up fight this. So he's actually losing quite a bit of damage or quite a few workers already in this. As we see Nerchio continue to push on forwards, and is he just going to crack Lambo with this attack? Kind of crazy because he was droning up behind it as well, so he's already 15 workers ahead behind all of this now. As Lambo's actually going to get a couple of spine crawlers up, but I think even that's not necessarily going to change the way this has ended up going. 12 workers killed. Nerchio's ahead on army supply, +2 already started, and Lambo's going to even throw down a Spire, which really is going to open up just how vulnerable he is to the next few attacks here. More of those Roaches continuing towards the upper right-hand side. Overlords continue to come down as well. And we are going to see a few more Roaches just finishing up. And there's more of those Roaches coming out and gathering on together. Alright, so just going to be continuing to set up. He has a couple of Ravagers morph in on the right side. Small Zerglings of Lambo coming on through, and just going to be seeing them able to continue picking their way through this, as Lambo's already into the main base, but the Roaches and Nerchio are pretty quick to respond in general. Nerchio just so far ahead right now, 65 drones to 60, up just 76 army supply to 30, and I mean, okay, Lambo is saving some money for the Mutalisks, but do the Mutas really do enough here before Nerchio just comes across the map and just ends this game because of sheer number of units? I'm not sure if you can get enough Mutas on the map to even stop an attack here out of Nerchio in the near future. As Nerchio continues to expand through the top side of the map, by the way, also a fairly interesting thing to take note of. Expanding all the way up to this top right corner, and you can see Lambo expands down towards the south side, which I'd say is a bit more of a common way to, you know, get the expansion going on this one. So, very interesting setup here as you see Nerchio pushing forwards again, trying to do a little bit more damage. A few Corrosive Bars coming down. Spinecrawler will get picked away at, and Nerchio, he's just pushing in. Didn't even wait for the upgrade advantage. He just knows he has too much. I mean, the Mutas are on the way. The thing is, by the time the Mutas deal with all of these Roaches, he's going to have basically no drones left, and it's just not going to be enough. There's not enough Roaches to slow this down from Lambo either. You know, sometimes if you have enough if you have enough Roaches and the Mutas have time to actually do something, but in this case, it's just not going to happen. GG, and Lambo is going to end up taking a loss in the again. Let's see. Well, not going to happen. Already a drone on the way from each side. As in the top left-hand side, making a drone. It's our blue Zerg player. It is Nerchio. He's up against the red Zerg to the bottom right-hand side of the map from Team Clash. Can he bounce back and bring this to a 1-1 scoreline? It is Lambo. Okay then. Let's see how this continues as we get going into game number 2. We get set up and just look to see what sort of direction we're going to end up being committed into here from these players over the long term. And as obviously for now, we're kind of looking towards a third hatchery coming up, that sort of thing here initially. As we get this rolling, get this underway. Yeah, and just getting set up here for the initial few moments of this ZvZ. Oh, we're just moving through the center, and again, obviously getting set up here initially, and looking to see what will happen. Again, just a little bit of a slow start up here of the hatch gas pillar piece and the ZvZ matchup, which has always brought some controversy to the viewers. Some love it, some hate it. Some think it's just too ridiculous, too aggressive. You can understand it. Sometimes ZvZ can be a pretty uninteresting matchup to watch, but sometimes it can be pretty fun and entertaining as well. And yeah, the first game, it was fun to see Nerchio just coming out in the lead and kind of the ways in which they can just... I think it's because ZvZ is very complex to understand as to why suddenly one player just has more roaches. There's a lot going on there. Like, Nerchio in general just decided to play a bit of a faster kind of a play style. He defended. He had a slight advantage from that, but then he also cut workers to be able to take the earlier attack. And that turned out to be pretty sick for him. So that worked out well. There's a couple things going to continue on down towards the south side. They're going to be sneaking in towards this natural in the next moment or so. As you just see again, a few of those things gathering together. And the third hatchery coming up to the right-hand side as well. Continue to just get set up and going here. Sling speed continue to come on through again. Queen on the way up, and just continue to see what is going to happen next. This queen going to push out onto the map as well. So a couple of queens here so far. Roach Roaring and the Evolution Chamber at the front, as the Creep Chamber will also come on down. Will also just set up to be able to sort of create that little bit of a, well, wall off at the front and just start pushing Creep out towards the bases. And just the Lambo does open with the link speed, but then into such a fast Roach Evo Chamber that he doesn't even take the hatchery just yet. Nerchio's just so much further ahead, and okay, we'll be later on the +1 missiles. We'll see how much later, though, and we'll see if it's going to play enough of an impact for, to matter that he took a much faster, obviously the faster third hatch makes up for it in a lot of ways. So, again, a cool little way to kind of basically take different kind of directions or routes through to kind of, from points A to B. Like, they're both going to end up probably here going in towards Roaches with +1 missiles, but they're going to get there in very different ways. So, interested to see who can come out in maybe the better position, see who can take advantage of this already. As you see, those Zerglings just continue to come up through the center, and actually a couple of queens are going to get surrounded. He gets an Overlord kill, but is it worth losing 2 queens? Well, probably not. There goes one, drops the transfuse, but I mean, doesn't really have much to transfuse, and both queens end up dropping. A nice snipe from Lambo already as he gets that surround just before. I mean, if the queens are in position there, there's a chance where it's like, well, it's actually not so bad. There's a possibility that's like, well, okay, maybe I lose like one of them, but I kind of kill off a lot more lings as well. Now Nerchio's just going to straight up lose this hatchery, and so the earlier third hatchery we were just talking about suddenly has no prevalence in the matchup. Is not going to help Nerchio out at all, and this is not looking good in game number 2 for Nerchio. Lambo off to a killer start, and he's still in this mineral line as well, looking for even more damage and still picking his way through even more workers at the moment. So continue to do a great job of this, as we will just be seeing finally some roaches on the way out. Across the map, Nerchio now will counterattack, and some roaches on the way from Lambo, but are they going to be here in time? Well, there's 1 or 2 transfuses available, actually just 1. I actually don't think that's enough. I think this hatchery goes down as well, so Nerchio suddenly counterattacks for a hatch kill. Both players kill each other's hatchery. What a crazy startup to game number 2, as suddenly Nerchio puts himself right back in this one. I mean, his roach is on the way up again, a bit slow on +1, but because of the fact there's no... Oh, there is a lair here. Sorry, apologies, of course, there's roach speed still on each side, but Nerchio's lair is actually a lot faster. I mean, his roach speed is coming up already. That could be a big deal here. Okay, Lambo starts +2 a little faster, but it's not going to be a massive difference between the two of them if Nerchio starts his right away. So there's not a lot of much of a time and window for Lambo to try and take advantage of at the moment. That makes this very interesting too, as we're going to be seeing just those Zerglings still just sat here. And now some roaches of Lambo coming up through the center, but Nerchio's making roaches of his own. And with the roach speed, I think these roaches of Lambo are just goners if he goes too far up, but he is going to start pulling back. The safer choice, and he is going to be able to gather himself together with that now and be a little bit safer. More lings running in. That third hatchery is going to get defended this time. Roaches in position. Lambo not going to let Nerchio take the same advantage twice in a row. So a few lings pushed off over to the left-hand side there. And again, that hatchery is just about to finish up now in the next few moments. So that hatch about to finish, +2/+1 again coming in from both players at the moment. As we just continue to set up in towards this C, just where we're going to end up. It's actually pretty even on the upgrades as well, about a 30-second difference, which seems like a lot, and it is a long time in StarCraft 2, but in Roach fights, where there's some Ravagers especially, buying yourself 30 seconds of time to be able to set up into an upgrade is very, very possible. So, especially with someone as good as Nerchio, I'm sure he'll know how to set up like that. As you do see Lambo starting to move up the left-hand side now with his own roach speed in play. He does have the numbers advantage. His worker count is ahead. His roach count is ahead. And his upgrades are going to be finishing sooner. Let's see if he can push in and take advantage of all of those things. Combine them to end this game right now. However, Nerchio will find a way to hold on and to maybe flip this game on its head. Lambo just waiting back for a little while longer. Isn't got the upgrades just yet, and that is when he is going to be, for the most part, looking to strike with that upgrade lead, as Nerchio still only on 44 workers, just spamming roaches out at the moment. Can he take a good enough fight? He's also down a couple of Ravagers, which means the quality of Nerchio's army is just straight up worse than the quality of the army here from Lambo. And here we go, the fight begins. Nerchio just jumps on this as soon as he can. He is going to kill a bunch of workers across the map. It's a little bit of a roach run by. Is getting a lot of damage done. 12 workers killed. But can he straight up survive over here? He doesn't have the upgrades. I don't think he has the numbers. And I think that's starting to become very apparent. His reinforcements just are not popping out soon enough, as these roaches and rabbits really are just looping around and getting a lot done. Now Nerchio's starting to get a few reinforcements through. Again, he killed 18 workers on the other side of the map, but he just can't seem to gather his units up well enough here, as he's going to pick off another Ravager. Some roaches coming in from the left side. He just doesn't have enough, right? I mean, it's been a very close effort. It was very, very close, actually. I mean, this was one of those games that really could have maybe just about turned around, but as it stands, Nerchio is still not going to have enough to defend, and Lambo's not letting up just yet. More roaches are coming out for him, and obviously now as Nerchio pulls his own workers in, the workers that Lambo lost before are going to be made up for here. He continues forwards. Again, a few more roaches going down, and this is just Nerchio fighting until the very, very end, which of course he really should, because it was a pretty close-cut affair towards the latter stages. But Lambo will take it. He'll even it out 1-1. Let's see what these guys are going to bring us as we're tied up 1-1. A couple of cool different players so far to set up here as we go into this game number 3. Let's have to the top right hand side our Blue Zerg. From Clash, it's Lambo. And to the bottom left, our Red Zerg is Nerchio. Nerchio took the lead here and then did just drop game 2 on Catalyst. If you're just tuning in, then welcome. It's the Go4SC2 January monthly finals. Glad to be here with you guys. I'm Wardy, of course. This is WardiTV you're watching. And we are continuing our way through this series to come out with a champion by the end of it. He will go away with, I believe it's a 150 euro, 50 euro split here for the monthly finals. It's some fun stuff. So, setting up into this, getting ready to go. Looking to see what sort of direction we'll be going in, as spawn pool on the way up, and this drone from Nerchio is already coming out over to the left-hand side to set up and to get going here. So, getting this rolling, going to see the hatchery about to drop, as Lambo is already going towards the gold base though. So already on Eastwatch and ZvZ we've been seeing some cool little different ways of playing. Some players like to take the gold base early, some don't. We'll see if this is something Nerchio will maybe try and punish if he can figure it out. Both of them though on a super fast free hatchery. I mean, this is really fast free hatchery from Lambo, to the point where it was before his spawning pool even. So free hatch before pool, Lambo will take a risk on a gold base too. I mean, he's really throwing this together and really just saying, you know, praying a little bit like, hey, please don't open aggressively, because goddamn if you do, I might be just in a little bit of trouble. So Lambo kind of praying to the gods slightly here, as we're going to see link speed on the way up for Nerchio at the moment. So that's on the way and coming through, as we're just going to be seeing the couple of queens, couple of zerglings on the way up as well. Hatchery is on the way on the left-hand side, so hatchery coming on into this now, and yeah, so far looking pretty decent. Overlord's just sat outside here also, as Lambo moving around a little bit, a couple of zerglings moving forwards. The Bano Nest on the way down from Lambo as well, and also from Nerchio here. As Nerchio coming forwards did see the creeps, so he does know about that gold base. Does he know about how early it was? Well, possibly. I mean, his own third base is up pretty quick too. In the end of the day, I don't think it matters too much. A free hatch before pool is nice, but it's not like Nerchio was playing a safe game himself. His own hatchery was super quick too, so in that sort of regard, I think Nerchio comes out in pretty much just a fine location. He's probably a couple of drones ahead, his ling speed's a bit faster, maybe he can do something with that. 22 lings on the way, I think that definitely is his intention. A couple of lings already peeling off to the side, are going to get ready to morph into banelings here. So Nerchio getting set up to try and just explode his way through into a victory in this game now, As actually he's just going to pull those Lings back a little bit, may just move his Banes in a little bit more centrally. Lings and Banes on the way up here from Lambo 2, by the way, though. So it's not like Nerchio is going to be having, you know, just an overwhelming number of units, or just units in general. As wow, first Banelings go off very nicely, and Nerchio, a mistake from him there is going to be a little bit costly, as more of these Zerglings coming back in, and Nerchio is going to take a lot of damage off that first Bane connection. And again, Lambo's going to take a lot of damage off that first Bane connection. Nerchio is looking for another here. There's a couple more Banes ready to go. Some Banes over on this side too. Nerchio has to be a little bit careful of them. He's been doing a good job dealing with it so far. And a couple of those Banes now super low, as this one final Baneling is moving forwards. And oh my god, it just trades out there in the end. Looks as though Nerchio is out of Banes though. And without Banes, he's going to be out of options. And that's pretty much going to be that for now. As we do have these Lings going to run over to the gold base though, and he is actually going to find a little bit of damage here at least. He's going to see a couple of drones going down, a Queen as well, and again, Nerchio doing some bits and pieces, but has to take more of an advantage from this to make up for what is truly a lack on this gold base in terms of economy and mining. Again, more Zerglings coming up through to the top side here, setting up to the top and seeing just what maybe those Lings can get up to next, as they're going to be able to start maybe moving forwards again. Nerchio at the same time is trying to play with the idea of pushing forwards over towards the natural expansion. This Baneling turns, and actually a big connection there. I think that was very Nerchio favored. For 2 or 3 Banes going down here from Lambo, but without really achieving too much. Nerchio, oh, that was a big pull away onto that Baneling. You are going to see Banes in the mineral line though, and some of those drones are already a little bit low. Continuing on forwards, and suddenly Nerchio is dealing some damage. He just lost 4 drones back at home. But he's going to get 4 workers here, and now 5. He'll get 6, I think, at least. Oh my god, more Banelings. And those drones really have nowhere to run to. Suddenly, it's 9 workers, and it should be all 10 of them that end up going down. In fact, there was 11 here, as I do the math in the end a little bit incorrectly. Oh, that Queen goes down as well, because the Baneling didn't want to use itself to kind of defend. And suddenly, Nerchio, 41 workers to 24, is in a heavy lead. Army supplies us even. Wow, wow, wow. As we're going to be seeing... well, now just these Banes and Lings continue to come down towards the bottom left-hand side. More Zerglings here of Nerchio as well, going to come back in and get another surround going, and just more Lings in general of Lambo looking to try and do something on this counter-attack, but it's not going to be easy, and redrawing at this point, even with a gold-based advantage, is not going to make up for the 16 worker difference, and Lambo very much so knows that, and so Nerchio, all he has to do is defend, and so far he's doing that just perfectly. His Banelings are connecting, he's getting the Queens forwards as well to target down the Banes wherever necessary. And as this defense continues on, it really does just look as though Lambo is going to be dropping out of game 3, and Nerchio is going to be taking the lead. Another Bane comes forwards here, and maybe there's going to be some magical hit right now that can save the day. I just don't think so. One more Bane coming up here in this mineral line is annoying. Nerchio actually hasn't started targeting yet, but now he will. Again, Nerchio just continues to stabilize here. Queen's going down, drone Ling's going down. Nerchio's got enough, and he holds on, and now of course he counterattacks with more units, with more drones behind it as well. Nerchio will just be able to throw a constant onslaught of units at Lambo, and Lambo will be tapping out of this one sooner rather than later, it would seem. Just going to keep diving for the mineral line. Nerchio avoiding the fight straight up when he can, just looking for those drone kills, putting himself in an indirect advantage through economy. And again, just another couple of Banes roll in, and at this stage, even if you target them down, I'm not sure if it's going to be that great. Another Bane of Lambo doesn't do enough, and that's GG, as Nerchio will take the lead, and took a lead and was able to close it out from that stage. As we have to the bottom left-hand side, the player who is up 2 games to 1 at the moment, the Red Zerg, Nerchio. Top right-hand side, the Blue Zerg player from Team Clash is Lambo. Okay then, so our 4th game, and obviously choices here right now to see what is going to be done. So you get set up and ready to roll in this. Looks like there is going to be hatch first from each. And so, again, I mean, neither of these players have just thrown out like a 13-12 just yet. Neither of them have thrown out a 12 pool. So it's always been hatchery first, but obviously we've been seeing some very different follow-ups from that hatchery first. Let's see what happens this time around, as the gas will be taken here from Lambo in the main base. And just this first Overlord moving through the center of the map as well. Just getting set up and ready to go. So Overlord on its way down towards the bottom left here, as we do see the gas, the extractor on the way up from Nerchio in the main. It's going to be seeing an Overlord or so pushing through the center, and this Overlord from Lambo also coming back down towards the lower left-hand side. Let's try and do a little bit more. Overload on the way up from each side, and again we just have a nice chilled out little start to the game. Nothing really all too crazy here to get going from the get-go. Speed starts up just that little bit sooner here out of Lambo. Nerchio was just a little bit later on his extractor, it seems, so very minor difference here initially in terms of the timing of the link speeds. I mean, about 10 seconds. Sometimes that means you lose like 3 or 4 links that are out on the map a bit, kind of, you know, just not expecting to get caught off guard in terms of the timing of link speed, but otherwise it shouldn't really make a massive difference. Both of them continue to mine, well actually they mine differently. Lambo cuts down to 1 worker, and Nerchio keeps mining with all of his workers, or 2 of his workers at least, so he is going to get the Baneland nest a little bit faster if he wants it. Or maybe he has some plans to just skip straight through into roaches here on Blackpink. I mean, a ramp on the natural that can be blocked off by a roach run setup is possible to kind of go for that, but taking the third hatchery, of course, just sort of says, yeah, I'm probably not going to do that actually in the long term here. Feeling still gathering up then to this left-hand side, they're going to start moving forwards themselves. Nerchio also moving in, and just looking to see what he can get up to in the next couple of moments. What's up, SMKSC in the chat, coming in for Twitch Prime sub, how you doing? Thank you very much for subscribing to the channel and for all your support this way. Do appreciate it, goes a long way to keeping us as a full-time StarCraft 2 stream, bringing you guys content every single day, so thank you very much, and get some love in the chat please for SMK and the Twitch Prime sub. New replay pack going out. I'm not sure when to send out the replay pack. We don't have many games to actually send out, so we might just send it out next week after the Team Liquid map contest. I'm not really sure. But there's replay packs coming up for subs in the fairly near future, as I do just have these links continue to move around. And apparently I missed the Roddy host. Apparently that didn't even show up in my chat. What the hell? That's so weird. Alright, what's up guys on Roddy's stream though, coming in. Welcome to the channel. We don't have many games left tonight. This could be our last one, and it could be a quick one, because right now a lot of Ling Bane is getting set up and ready to go. So let's see what's about to happen here. As you're going to see those Lings poking in over on the left-hand side. And some Banelings as well from Lambo getting set up too. First Baneling comes forwards, and a couple of Queens fighting quite nicely so far. Little bits and pieces of damage being dealt, as you're going to see this overload on the right-hand side starting to be pushed away as well, as now some more Lings and Banes moving in towards this third hatch. The Banes, though, of Nerchio looking to defend. I mean, both players are drawing up behind this, so it looks as though this overall attack is just going to be kind of dampened down, not really going to be too explosive as we might have thought it would be. Looks as though it's just going to be pretty calm and collected moving forwards here, as you're going to see a couple more Zerglings going down. Across the map, a few Lings from Nerchio will get themselves a Queen kill at the very least. Lambo's only been making drones, so he doesn't actually have any Zerglings to deal with this right away. There could even be a second Queen kill. Maybe just has to pull the drones here in the natural, because I don't think you can really justify losing a second Queen. The drones will pull. The Queen's taking damage, but will survive. The Lings were arriving back home as well, which obviously helps a lot. Now, a couple of Banelings here from Lambo finish up, and so he's going to come in and trade 2 for 2, 2 for 2. Makes 4 for 4. Hashtag math on stream, live. Yes, I did it. And, yeah, very nicely done as well. As you're going to see more Lings now going to go across the map towards the bottom left-hand side once again. You're going to see this lair on the way up here in the main base. +1 missile attack coming through, and the Roach Roar about to finish up as well. A couple of Overlords still on the way out in the main. As you're going to see those Lings still being pushed away, still unable to really break on through and to get too much else done. Just going to be seeing Zerglings again moving around in the center, as you see more Lings coming up the right-hand side. For Nerchio also now, a few more Banes coming in. Nerchio's really just going all in on this Ling Bane. Even though he's got Roaches on the way out and +1 missiles coming through, he's really just so aggressive with these Lings. And right now it's working out for him, because Lambo, once again, doesn't really have any units in position for the damage he's going to do over here. He's going to take twice the damage, if not more, over on this side of the map as well. Those Banes are now ready to hit a mineral line. Maybe a little bit of overkill on the amount of Banelings here. Maybe some more Zerglings would have done just as good of a job. As Nerchio maybe wasn't expecting so few units defensively, as that's already now 12 workers to 5. And while these Roaches can start cleaning up these Banes, but they're going to get some workers. I think that's an inevitable outcome here, as we actually see only 3 more going down for all of those Banelings. In the end, it wasn't so great of a final attack from Nerchio, but I mean, look at the worker counts. 50 to 39. Obviously, from here you can catch up on the Roach count before it comes across, and Well, Lambo is a little bit faster on the roach speed. The lair from Nerchio is not quite there just yet, but it means that roach speed isn't going to be there right away. And Nerchio's lair is going to be in time to make the most out of the scenario when it comes down to looking at the the words that I can't think of. When it comes to starting the +2 missile attack, the lair is actually perfectly timed for that. Nerchio did lose some workers himself, but still holds the worker advantage in this. And again, eventually, he will just catch up in the supply count. Right now, though, actually, Lambo just making more roaches. He's not droning. And that could be the point where Nerchio just falls apart in this. If he's just going to continue droning and doesn't start making roaches soon, he will fall into some trouble. So let's see if he starts to make them. He sees this attack coming now, so now he is going to start spamming up roaches. I feel this is one of those scenarios where actually just the reinforcement distance and the defensive position might just be enough for Nerchio. He even cancels +2 and roach speed never even started for him to make sure he can get enough units out, or as many units as possible, to deal with this. So Lambo in some regards is already dealing damage here, keeping Nerchio on only +1. Obviously, no roach speed as well is a disadvantage for Nerchio in the long term, but Nerchio has a 20 worker lead, and eventually that does catch up to you as Lambo. So that's going to suck a little bit here as we're going to be seeing these roaches and lings coming in. We are going to be seeing the first Ravager again picked off as well, as we are just going to be seeing the well, fight coming in here. I just don't think Lambo has enough at all. I mean, you can just sort of see the roach numbers of Nerchio are going to be more than enough, and I mean, the reinforcements of Lambo is where a lot of his supply is, and obviously they're reinforcing. That's why they're still called reinforcements. They're not here just yet, and that's one of the big issues of this, is it looks as though Lambo is starting to run out of steam, turns around, gets a Ravager. Now, without roach speed, it's difficult for Nerchio to macro-attack into counter-attack. So it's probably better for him to just keep macroing up. I mean, still has a worker lead, and in the long term, that goes a very long way. And it may very well be the one thing that can just keep him in this in the end. As you can see, roaches splitting up a little bit here. A few more lings moving around, or yeah, there's some seconds moving around the top side, taking that watchtower. And still just so many roaches setting up. I'm looking to see what's going to happen next. +2 missile attack, roach speed on the way up at the moment. 5 more roaches coming out, and a few roaches coming out from Lambo here as well, so also setting up with that. Just going to be seeing the +2 missile attack upgrade from Nerchio, and just some roaches and a Ravager moving forwards here at the moment, so looking to see just what is going on. It's actually quite a large attack from Nerchio, but again, does he really want to commit? Well, counterattack from Lambo will probably make him think twice. These roaches coming through the south side, and they're already going to be looking to kill off this 4th hatch on the way up. Meanwhile, some roaches, or actually slings, are in this mineral line over here, so they are also going to get a couple of drones. Nerchio's hatchery gets cancelled, but again, looking in the long-term picture here, Nerchio has the numbers on his side. And of course, I mean, he's not just building up more units faster, he's soon going to have +2 missiles as well. So unless Lambo's going to win this game right now with this push-in, which is going to be difficult because he has no advantage going into this. He's pushing into defense's advantage. He's pushing into Nerchio's concave. Like, Nerchio has everything. Reinforcement distance. He has roach speed now as well. And Nerchio's +2 on the way up. There's no upgrade lead here for Lambo at all, as Nerchio just starts to take this fight. He's very happy to. His corrosive bars are actually hitting quite nicely, and Lambo doesn't even let this fight play out. He types out GG and grats. And that's going to be it. Nerchio's going to be your Go4SC2 January monthly finals champion. Congratulations to him. Very well done. Nerchio, the victor here with a